Hi everybody, good afternoon and welcome to Anzac cookies today. This is what we're making. How lovely is that? So I'm just going to wait a bit until you guys come on. I know we had some trouble this week with the ingredients, so if you're here, say hello, let me know. And I'm on the phone today, so we've got a slightly different, I know, portrait view, so sorry about that, but it means I'm going to be able to scroll through and answer your questions. So I hope you're all looking for, I'll take this bowl out of the way and then you can see more of my cookies. Hi, yeah, send me some thumbs up, send me some love. They're really, really yummy and perfect this week for, well, Anzac Day was a couple of weeks ago, but it's VE Day, isn't it, on Friday? So I thought we'd do something nice and war-themed. Hi, Neve. So yeah, come and say hello. I'm going to run through the ingredients and stuff in a minute. So don't worry, don't need to pre-weigh anything. You've got plenty of time. Hi Samuel and Abby, that's fantastic. And Ayla, so I'm going to do all my shout outs now. I haven't got my IT helper today, but that's fine. They do look delicious. Honestly, do you know, Helen, this is one plate. I've got another plate and I've had a sneaky peek. But I had to eat some because I know we had lots of questions about coconut. So for those of you out there that think, hi Maya, that mum and dad are not going to eat the coconut, what I say is more for you. So, hi Victoria, it's your first cooking class, fantastic. This is a super quick and easy one today, you're going to love it. Hi Poppy and Tyler, fantastic. And Maya, great. So we're ready, and I haven't, you can see here, I should introduce myself. I'm Nicole, this is the Kids Kitchen, and we're doing some exciting online cooking classes. Hi Persephone and Alithia and Millie, amazing. Now, so we've got a few of you on already. Hi Ria and Pavan, fantastic. So nice to see lots of new faces and lots of old faces as well. Gracie and Sophia and Eliza, lovely, and Evie, amazing. Good. These are really quick and you're going to be able to have them outside in the sunshine with a cup of tea at tea time. How about that? That's pretty good to me. Hi Lucy, Oliver and Cameron, amazing. And Addison, lovely. Eliza's here again, perfect, perfect, perfect. And I've got some questions today for some of you. So we'll start asking that again. So these, as I said, they're called Anzac cookies. So you spell them A-N-Z-A-C, and they stand for something. Does anybody know what they stand for? I gave you a bit of a clue. So they're a wartime cookie, and I thought it would be good. I thought it would be good to do them because we've obviously got VE Day on Friday. Hi Ruby and Luca and Flavia. So you can write if you know what Anzac stands for, and if you're cooking with some grown-ups. Hi Belle and Jaden, the grown-ups might know too. Hi Iman, are you excited to make them? I am too. I know I've had loads of people say, if you ask your parents and your grandparents, these are like a really quite an old traditional recipe and they will know. So your syrup is hard. You can microwave it. Absolutely. That is perfect. Hi Alice. You can absolutely stick it in the microwave. And we're going to use we're going to melt some butter today. So you might want a saucepan or you can do it in the microwave. It's up to you. Yes, the Australian and New Zealand. Well, I thought it was Army Corps actually, but we'll agree to disagree on that. Either way, it is. Hi, Oscar and Mummy and Caden and Izzy. You're going to make them whilst chasing an 8-month-old. They're very easy, promise. Okay. Hi, Stefan. And they're Australian. Yeah. They can also be called diggers. Oh, I didn't know that. Why are they called diggers? That's interesting. You found out, but you forgot. Okay. Tell me later. That's fine. So they were wartime cookies. And they were sent to the troops. So there were lots of ingredients that they had because obviously things were rationed a bit, like we're a bit having trouble now. Hi, Izzy. And oh yeah, Australia and New Zealand allied countries. Oh, we've all got different answers. Okay, interesting. Hi, Lizette. And there's an ingredient that we're not using today, which will explain why they're wartime biscuits. So I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to see if you know. So let's just run through what you're going to need, okay? So you're going to need about 85 grams of porridge oats, and don't worry about measuring them out, and I'm going to do it through with you later. Now I've got the proper really big porridge oats today, but just any of you see those, they're the really, really big flakes, but whatever you've got. So porridge is one thing we're going to need. Then you're going to need some plain flour, so that's the red one. If you've got self-raising, don't worry, that's also fine. Hi Maddie, they do look nice, don't they? Hi Isabel and Marsha. Oh, Maria's already got it. Don't tell. You're going to need some caster sugar. Some of you have asked if granulated sugar and stuff's okay. That's also fine. You're going to need some butter or some pure. And if you've got salted butter, that's also fine. Some golden syrup. And if you don't have golden syrup, you can use honey or something like that. That will really help bind it. The key ingredient that I know not everybody have. Hi, Ollie and Florence and Nicole. Oh, hello, Nicole from Peter. Sorry, Peter. Is coconut, dried coconut. Now, I know not everybody had this. So I was suggesting, in terms of similar texture, you could use maybe some ground almonds, or you can use just more of your porridge oats. It's a bit different because it's not a regular cookie recipe. And I know not everybody is a coconut lover, so hands up if anybody likes bounties. I'm a bit of a bounty fan, but I promise, hi Imogen and Catherine, you've got the same, okay. The rest of my family do not like coconut and will not eat it, but they do like these. So remember, if we're all trying to try new ingredients, we've all got to try them. Potatoes, what's potatoes? How does the recipe make? About 20, in fact, I made a few more. Yes, and so, well, my last ingredient here is bicarbonate, and I was going to ask you, what's the thing I don't have? So I have not got any eggs, and that's why it was a really popular one in the war, because eggs were really hard to get hold of, and obviously they would have gone off. So the idea was that they would make these cookies and they would send them to the troops, and they would last a long time, assuming they didn't eat them. So that's what I think. You got some coconut. Yeah, that's fine. Perfect. Hi, Deladana and Juan. Perfect. So, other things you're going to need: set of scales, mixing bowl as ever. You're going to need a nice baking tray to bake them on, and I've got my silicone mat. So for those of you that have been asking about the kit, I have done an Amazon shopping list. So if you want something like this, you can. If you don't have one of these, then just line it with some baking paper, okay? You've only got 75 grams of coconut. Yes, just a bit more oats, that's fine. The syrup in the microwave, just put it in a little plastic bowl like this. You can do that. They're a bit like hobnobs. You're right, they are. Actually, they'd probably be really nice with chocolate, wouldn't they? The biscuits are yummy. They are, I promise. The smell is so good here. Hi, Isabel and Olivia. Perfect. So yeah, mixing bowl, that you're going to need to melt your butter. So either a little saucepan, or if you want to do it in a little bowl in the microwave, then you can do that, okay? What can you use instead of bicarb of soda? You can use baking powder. Bicarb is, we use it a bit as an egg replacer. So you'll see, and I want to show you the fizz today because it's amazing. You guys are going to love this. It's like science. Would flour work? Yeah, you could. If you don't have coconut, you can either put a bit of extra flour or some oats as well. But bear in mind, there's no egg to bind it, so we don't want to have too many dry ingredients. That's why it'd be a bit flaky. Okay. And then I've just got a teaspoon and a tablespoon, and it's super easy. That's all we're going to need. You love coconut, but you don't have it. I know. I also thought this was a good recipe, that not everybody was going to be shopping on coconut. But for those of you that had my larder list, and I might have to do another session with you, this time is a really good time to work out what you want to keep in your larder. Instead of the oats, I wouldn't do it all with flour. I don't think they're going to be particularly yummy. If you've got oats, I would use some oats, okay? Or ground nuts or something. Hi, Grace and Bethan. They do taste great. So, are we all good? Hi, Alexandra, to get started. Perfect. How much butter? So we're going to start with that right now. So you're going to need 100 grams of butter. So first of all, let's check everybody's got their aprons on. Hopefully you guys have washed your hands. You're a bit late. Don't worry, Jasmine. You're not late. I promise. You're not late. Yes. What you're going to do is we're going to melt the butter and the golden syrup to start with, okay? So if you are going to put it in the microwave, you can put them both in the microwave. If you're going to do it in your pan, you can do them both in the pan. So if I take these out of the way, I'll put them there to one side so maybe you can still see them. So I'm just going to put my saucepan on the scales, and you can do this with me. Make sure we're setting it to 0 for G. And you're going to pop in 100 grams of butter. So remember, when you're cutting, we don't want to cut in our hands. So I've just got a couple of chunks there. So we're just going to put 100 grams of butter in. I'm going to come back and look at your comments in a minute. Do not worry. So just put in 100 grams of butter. I'll use that little bit there. A bit more. So soft, isn't it? It's warming up. So that's my 100 grams of butter. So, hi Esme, hi the Tweedies. This is your first time, fantastic. So we're making these today. We're making Anzac cookies because it's VE Day on Friday. So actually Anzac cookies, we were having a bit of a disagreement, weren't we, exactly what it stands for, but something like the Australian and National and New Zealand Army Corps, or we had allied countries. And actually Anzac Day was, I think, on the 26th or 28th of April. So it's been, but it's a nice wartime recipe. You've done it, perfect. Hi Imi, you can have a shout out if I can pronounce your name. Bondon Poncon, is that the one, Claire? Okay, so you've got 100 grams of butter in your saucepan or in your little bowl if you're going to take it to the microwave. You know, you don't need to turn the gas on yet. Never turn the gas on until we put our saucepan on, okay? Hi, Bunny, Stephanie, and Phoebe and Erin. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a bit of our golden syrup. We just need 1 tablespoon. So if you're using measuring cups, that's fine. I just use a tablespoon. You can see that size like we would eat with. Thank you, Eleni, that's nice. Hi, Crystal. And we're always going to hold our spoon over the jug so we don't mess. Now, good tip for you, normally when you can have a choice in the shops, get a squeezy bottle of golden syrup, because it's a bit like when you squeeze ketchup, so much easier. So I'm just going to squeeze that. If you've got one that you need to scoop out, you need to scoop and twist it, and then drop it in there. So I'm going to squeeze a nice spoon and pop that in there. Okay, pop that out of the way. And now we are going to, so if you're putting it on your hob now and warming it up, now we need to put it on, okay? Just on a low light, and we're going to let all that butter and golden syrup melt, and we do not want to let it burn, okay? So I'm going to put mine on here. So if you've got it in a bowl in the microwave, you can go and do yours. Just going to put that on to melt. So mine is melting. So just 100 grams of butter, 1 tablespoon of golden syrup. We're just going to melt that, okay? So give me a thumbs up if you're all good to go, and then I will tell you the next step. They do smell very good. What do you think? Nice. And actually, those of you that are asking about porridge, I use the really big porridge oats. So you can see there, you can actually see the whole oat. So don't worry if you've got smaller ones. 1 tablespoon, Flavia, okay? 1 tablespoon of syrup. And then we're just going to melt that. Lovely. Good. Now, this is a bit of the fun bit that we're going to do. So bicarbonate of soda is the stuff that makes a real big fizz. So have you guys at home done that experiment with the Mentos in the jar, or you've made a volcano and it erupts? So this is bicarb of soda. So what we want is a little teaspoon. We don't want too much. This stuff's good if you've got an upset tummy, it makes you burp, but we don't want to do too much burping, do we? So I'm just going to put my teaspoon in, and then you can pull it out up the side of the pot so that I've got only a flat teaspoon, or even less. So I don't want like a teaspoon like that. That would be way too much. It will make us burp. So just a little teaspoon like that, and that's going to go in a little bowl, okay? Just heat it really low, Eleni, just until it melts. You just want the butter to melt, and then the golden syrup will melt in there. You made an apple, okay. A volcano in an apple. Wow, that's really cool. I like that. I like that. So if I just show you mine, it's not done yet, but you can see there that the butter's starting to melt and the golden syrup's all melting, okay? So I've just got it on a low heat, and then I don't need to watch it too much. You can absolutely microwave the butter and the syrup together, that's fine. So I've got 1 little teaspoon of my bicarb in there, and then I'm going to take some hot water. So those of you that are little and that need mum and dad to give you a little hand, I've just put some hot water in my little bowl, and you're going to want 2 tablespoons of hot water that I'm going to add to the bicarbonate, and it's just going to make it dissolve. So if I show you that, you can see that it's quite lumpy, and I'm just going to stir it around until it dissolves, and that's why we want the hot water. So you just want to dissolve that for a little bit. Do you microwave it for, I don't know, 5-second bursts until it dissolves? That's all you want to check. Depends on how strong your microwave is. So can you see it's kind of, it looks a bit cloudy there, but it's dissolved. Yes, turn off the gas when the butter has finished. Perfect. And in fact, mine's nearly done too. Always turn off the gas. So whether you're gas or your induction, sorry, my hob's over that way, so I'm looking over there to melt it. You just want to make sure it's all dissolved, and then yes, turn off the gas, turn off the induction, and then you can just leave it on the side. So, can it be water from the tap? Yes, absolutely. Instead of bicarbonate, no. So this is, Nicola, this is an egg-free recipe because it was a wartime recipe. So if you don't have bicarbonate, you could use baking powder. It won't be the same, but, so if I explain a bit, let me just turn this off so I can come and face you. So there's mine is basically done. And if you've ever got small bits, like I've got in butter, if you can see, let's see, it just dissolves as you take it off the heat. So I'm just going to leave that there and take it off the heat, okay? So bicarbonate of soda, those of you that have done science, I know I've got some grown-up ones today. So there's acids and alkalis, aren't there? So baking powder, which is what we put in cakes, has a bit of acid and alkali. So it's got some bicarbonate in it, but bicarbonate is an alkali and it needs an acid to react with it to make that volcano fizz. So normally we put it with things that are a bit acidy, like yogurt is a bit sharp, or maybe lemon juice when we make scones and stuff like that. I'm going too fast, sorry, I'm going to slow down and repeat. So 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate in a little bowl with 2 tablespoons of warm or hot water, okay? And just until it dissolves. It's just going to help it dissolve a bit like that, okay? Don't do too much boiling if you've got, if you don't want to have boiling water in front of you. So I left mine before it was boiling and it's just cooled down a bit. It's just warm, it's not too hot, but it'll be fine, don't worry. So we're just going to dissolve that in a little bowl. And I'll wait until everybody is okay. So sorry, I was just explaining about bicarbonate. So when you put in baking powder, it has got a small bit of bicarbonate. Bicarbonate is amazing if you make honeycomb or you do those volcano experiments. It's really good stuff. Okay, So yeah, hopefully that's answered your questions about bicarbonate and eggs and things. You could put an egg in it, but traditionally it's an egg-free recipe. So that's why I wanted you to do it today. So it'd be quite fun for you guys to do for VE Day. I know some of you are going to make them again or make them fresh on Friday if you're doing a kind of war-themed picnic. And yeah, just water from the tap is fine unless you've got particularly dodgy water. 2 tablespoons of water, Lizette. Yes. Good. So I think we're good. Are we good? Fantastic. So what you need to do now is take your mixing bowl, just pop that on your scales, and we're going to weigh in all of our dry things. So basically I've got my bicarbonate and my water in one bowl, and I've got the butter and stuff I've melted somewhere else. And I'm taking it off the heat. I've done it first so it's not too hot when we come to it in a minute, okay? So now make sure your scales are set onto 0. So remember you've got a little unit button. And somebody asked me about the scales I use. So these are from Argos and I love them. Obviously you can't get them at the moment. So I've put up the next nearest thing on the Amazon shopping list if everybody wants, so you can wipe them really nice and clean. Cold water, hot water would be a bit better just to make it dissolve. So just warm water from the tap if you don't want to have. It needs to be a bit warmer, Sally, if it's not dissolving, it needs to be hot. It will kind of start to set a bit at the bottom, but you'll see it's more dissolved than it was before. There will always be a little bit, can you see that there? A little bit of solid. Don't worry, it's fine. Okay, so in here we're going to weigh our porridge. So you need 85 grams of porridge oats. And if I weigh mine, you're going to see I've got the really big flakes. These are the organic porridge oats. But whatever you've got, if it's more finely milled, that's fine. It really doesn't matter. And those of you that were asking if you don't have coconut and you wanted to add some more porridge, you can actually grind porridge up in a food processor and make oat flour. So you could use that too. Declan's here. Hi, Farah. Hi, Declan. How much water? 2 tablespoons, Helen. Temperature is the oven at? Very good question. I didn't tell you to put that on yet, did I? 180 or 160 fan, but they take 10 minutes, so it really is not a problem. Can you use Ready Brek? Ready Brek's quite fine. If you've got nothing else, then yes. We're all about subbing at the moment. Hi, Kate. Who did I miss there? I've missed somebody there. I'm trying to catch. Hi, Jasmine in Leeds. And oh, you are very welcome, Maria. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I think we're getting into week 7 and I know everybody's a bit like, can't take any more. So, and a lot of people can't take coconut. So anyway, those of us that are here are having a good time. So here's our porridge. So I've got 85 grams of porridge, and you'll see if I show you mine, it is quite big porridge flakes. So don't worry if they don't look the same, but you can start to see porridge is different, huh? All different porridges. Perfect, you added the water, good. So in there as well, now I'm going to add in the secret ingredient, which was the coconut. So we're going to press it on the on-off switch or the tare button and set it again. Do you need to preheat the oven? Yeah, you can do now. That only takes 10 minutes, so there you're going to be fine. You can put, hi Rohan and Aria, you can put the oven on 180 or fan 160, okay? So I'm just going to add in another 85 grams of coconuts. So that's going in there. Okay, and some of you fried coconut, you can sometimes buy the coconut flakes and you could grind those up. Hi Henry and Rosie. You can use almonds instead. I would try with almonds, or a bit of almonds and a bit of porridge, and just see how you go. We're all trying it out. Or it's some of you, once somebody asked me about creamed coconut, which comes in a block. It's really hard, and the bit that's white you can grate, because if any of you have had a fresh coconut before, you know that you get all of the juice out, and it's like, looks like water, doesn't it? It's quite clear. And then you get all of the flesh, which is that nice creamy white stuff. And that's what happens. They smush it all together to make a big block of coconut. And so you want the harder bit. Perfect. Good. Oh, we're sending all, I like all these new emojis. So I've got 85 grams of coconut in here, 85 grams of porridge oats. Now, you're going to add in your plain flour. Coconut was 85 grams. Am I breaking up? I think it might just be at you if everybody else can hear. No, but leave the butter and syrup. We're just doing the dry ingredients. Everybody else looks okay. Okay, so 85 grams of coconuts, 85 grams of porridge oats. Now we're going to put in 100 grams of flour. We don't need to sift it. It's fine. So we're going to put in 100 grams. You don't put too much in because it will be too difficult to mix together. So there's that. So 100 grams of flour disappeared. Oh, that's strange. I think everybody else. If I've disappeared and you can't see me or you can't hear me, then you can send me a little note so I know. But I think everybody else is okay. I haven't. Okay, good. Hi, Melissa, Sydney, and Poppy. Is Poppy going to be licking up all of the crumbs later. Yeah, I know. I think I've had real trouble with Zoom and other things this week. I don't know, we might just be having a bit of a dodgy Wi-Fi day, but I think the rest of it is okay. So I'm back. Good. Okay. Sometimes very technical, turn it off and turn it on again. Right. No, you need to keep all of the liquid. You must follow my instructions, Flavia. So keep all of the liquid stuff separate, okay? We're just doing the dry things. Really, really important, okay? So I've got my flour, my coconut, and my oats in there. And then I'm going to add some sugar. Now, I've given you the full recipe, the original recipe, which is 100 grams of sugar. But I don't think that you need that much sugar. So it's up to you. So as a general rule, you can always cut your sugar by about half. So I'm actually probably going to put in about 70 grams or something like that. So it was 100 grams of flour, Helen. I hear an alarm. No. Unless it was a little, it could be a sound on my phone, but I don't think it's an alarm. So up to about 100 grams of sugar. So I'm just going to put in 75 today and take it down a little bit. You did hear an alarm. Oh, hold on one second. Let me just see if if I turn it off, then you're going to see me. I think it might just be a notification on my phone. You can't see and hear me either. I'm thinking it still says live here, so hopefully we're all good. So you're just going to mix all of your dry things in together, okay? So that's all I'm doing. So now I've got my flour, my sugar, my oats, my coconut. I'm just going to mix it up really well. I know most of it looks white, but you want to mix it up quite well. Okay. Is it that noise? That's a notification. Sorry, I should have put my phone on silent. I'm used to having my IT guy here and he's not here today. So, right. It's fine. Good. You can see in here. Perfect. Okay. You can see me. Excellent. So we don't need the scales anymore. So I've got everything else off to one side. So I've got my nice bowl with all of my dry ingredients. Then I've got my bowl with my bicarb and my water. And I've got my saucepan with my butter and a bit of syrup in there. Okay? Right. You can see, and you're loving your first time. Oh, thank you, Melissa and Riley. We've had a few little tech. Normally we're pretty good, and normally I have it on a bigger screen, but today I'm doing it on my phone so that I can see all of you as I go. So when you've got all your dry ingredients, now I want to show you the fun with the fizz, okay? So you want to take your butter and your syrup, however it is, in a bowl or something else. I'm just going to put it on a chopping board so that you can see me a bit better. Okay. Yes, sugar should have gone in there. So in here, yeah, I think it is the notification sounds, but I don't want to change the screen and turn it off for you, so sorry about that. So basically, all in here are all your dry ingredients. So the porridge, the coconut, the flour, and the sugar, okay? And we've just mixed that together. And then in here, I've just got my butter and my syrup. Now, what I'm going to show you is if you take your bowl with the bicarb and the water and just mix it up a little bit so it's not all stuck at the bottom, then you want to pour it straight into your bowl with all of that warm butter. And if it's super hot, you'll see it fizz. Mine actually isn't super hot anymore, but it was fizzing this morning when I made my other one. So if it's really hot, you will see it fizz, okay? And it's good fun. It is good fun. I can't show you mine now because mine's cooled down. It's better. It's much safer for you to be cooled down. So I've mixed it all in. So you've got all of your liquids together. And when they're all together, you can go back to your bowl and just pour all of the liquid in. Make sure you scrape it out so we don't leave anything behind. So that's the butter, the water, the bicarb, and that syrup that had all melted. Okay? So I've got it all in here, and you can see there, that's why I have it in a glass bowl so you can see, look at all that yellow, that's all my melted butter, and the rest is all white from my dry stuff. And now I'm going to start to mix it in. So I want you to mix it in. If you watch as I do this, you'll see it gets all kind of yellowy from the butter, and that's what we want to do. We want to mix it in until I can't see any white powder anymore. So you might want to mush it and smush it, very technical term, with the back of the spoon like that. Okay? You normally put the water and the bicarb into the dry things. Yeah, the reason I don't do that, are you stuck, David? What are you stuck with? Yours fizzed. Well done, Neve. Yeah, it should fizz. If it's warm, it fizzes. But you'll see in a minute we get our hands in, so I don't like to do it too much. And the reason I don't do that is it's harder to see if you spread the bicarbonate out. And then if you haven't and you get a bit, it leaves a bit of funny taste in your mouth. So that's why I don't. But it really doesn't matter. It's a one bowl thing. Caster sugar should have gone in there before. in with the dry stuff. So you can see it's mostly coming together. And if you've got a white bowl, glass bowl like me, you'll see the white stuff. So it's really easy to know when you've not done it properly, okay? So we're just gonna keep mashing and smashing it, keep scraping it down. And in a minute, we're gonna get hands in, but I like it to cool down first because remember that butter was hot and the water was hot and I don't want anybody to touch it when it's too warm. So the syrup and the butter and the bicarb go into this bowl, okay? What do you do if you haven't got a hob and you've done it in the microwave? Same thing, David, it really doesn't matter. So as long as your butter and your syrup is melted, it goes straight in the bowl here with the water and the bicarb as well. It does taste delicious. You're already having a munchie, Neve. Okay. So for me, this looks pretty good because you can see most of it is mixed in and I can see from the top. And then if it's cool enough, just put your fingers in and check. What you want to do now is give it a really good squish. This is like lovely stuff, isn't it? Squish it between your hands so that it all comes together and you get rid of all of those little white bits down the side of the pot of the bowl. You need help? Is Mummy there, Flavia? Right. So basically everything goes in the bowl. So if whatever you've got out at the moment that you've weighed out can all go in together. It's not yellow. It depends what you've used. I've used butter. I've got like an organic butter, so it will be quite yellow. It depends what you've used. So if you've used a margarine and it's more white, it won't be. And you can see basically it will start to come together like in a lump, and that's what you want. Okay. So just keep mixing it. If it's still very white, it just means you just need to work it in a bit more, okay? That's all it means. So I'm going to wait for you guys to get up to that. And before we shape it into little balls. So, you are enjoying it. Good. Hi, Emma. Right. So you should basically have it all together like that. I don't know if it looks yellow. It also depends what porridge you've got. So I've got quite browny porridge oats. So yes, Flavia, everything goes in. Flour, coconut, sugar. What else have we got? Porridge, butter, syrup, bicarb, all of it. Yeah. So it's really nice to squish, isn't it? But that's why I want to mix it in first because we don't want it to be too hot. It's not coming together. It should do. Keep squishing it like this, okay? Yours is a bit dry and it's not sticking together. Okay, did you definitely give enough butter and water, the 2 tablespoons of water? So make sure you can add a bit more water just until it comes together, but make sure you scraped out your pan or your bowl with all of the melted stuff, okay? It is crumbly. It is still crumbly, you can see here, so bits will fall off, but you want to make sure that when you squish it, it will come together. Because basically what we're going to do, I'll show you, is we're going to take a little pinch, a bit like we did with our almond cookies, squish them like this in our hand. Can you see how I'm squishing them hard into a ball? So there's no point in just rolling them. They don't need to be pretty. And then we're just going to put them down like that. So if I show you, if I take a crumbly bit and I roll it, it will just disintegrate. So you just need to squish it, like you're wringing something out of water. Okay. Here we go. So like that, okay? So kind of bite size, walnut size. So we're just going to squish them. So don't worry, keep squishing and see, but definitely make sure that everything in the bowl is scraped down and that you have scraped out all of your liquid. So from the bowl with the water and the bicarbonate and from the melted butter, okay? And if it's really, hi Adriana, sorry, I got that wrong. If it's really not coming together, add a small bit of water until it does, okay? And this is why this recipe is so clever, because normally with cookies, you'd have egg to bind it, but we're not using any egg, so we use bicarbonate with the other stuff. How far do you need to spread them out? They don't get too big, but I am going to squish them in a minute. So on a regular baking tray, I've got 4 across, and I'm going to do 5 rows. So I reckon that's good. I made a few more than 20 this morning, but as a rough idea like that. So if I show you my tray, so that is my notifications. That's one of you messaging me. Can you see there? So a bit like that. So it's really good. This is good practice for times tables. So you'll be able to know 5 times 4. So I'm just squishing them. So just however big you want them. The important thing whenever you make cookies is that you make them the same size, because then they can all bake at the same time. So if you've got smaller ones, they'll need a bit less time than mine. And if you've got bigger ones, they'll need a bit more. It's not coming together. So you need to make sure you've got enough liquid, add a little bit more water if necessary. But I think usually you just need to squish it. So we've done a lot of squishing practice, haven't we? We've done almond cookies, we've done falafel, this kind of same kind of thing. So just be patient with it. And also your hands are warm, so you can see kind of how greasy my hands look. And the warmth of your hands is really going to help bring it together too. But it is a bit crumbly. You can see I've made a bit of a mess on my tray, and that's fine. That's one of the reasons I like silicone. Makes it so much easier. Times tables are easy, are they? Okay, what are 5 4s? It's not a difficult one today, but that's always how I do it. I always do it in rows, and then I can really quickly count how many I've got, okay? So that's row number 3 for me. You're a bit behind, do not worry. How much water? 2 tablespoons of warm water in with 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate. So just mix that up, Andrea. And then if you've got all of your dry stuff, you just weigh your dry stuff in a bowl and then put that water and bicarbonate in with the butter, the melted butter and the syrup. And then we're just going to mix it all together. 20. Perfect, Sabin, you got it. So can you see I'm just squishing it from one hand to the other, however you like to do it. I think I made these a bit bigger than I did mine this morning, actually. I think I'll just about get 20. And they do spread a bit. We're going to squish them in a minute as well. You love it. I know, it's good fun, isn't it? I do like a bit of squishing. Good for getting hands in. Don't worry about washing your hands. We'll do that in a minute. And what's good about the crumbly bit is then you're going to have little bits that have dropped off that you'll be able to pick up and eat, those of you that are wanting a munch that haven't eaten already. So that's my 20, and I've got a titchy bit more there. Let's see if I can make that into 1. That's my leftovers. So I've got a baby one there. So I've got 21. So if I show you those are my 21. It looks great. They do look good, don't they? And it's a crumbly mix. You can see we've got bits of porridge, we've got bits of coconut, do not worry. And you'll see bits have landed on the tray. So what I want you to do is just roll them into balls. And then we're going to do the very technical squish. Are you loving it? They are nice. Oh, good, Riley. So you want to take your hand and just squish them. Not mega flat, just like that. Can you see? So they're flat cookies. I don't want to squish them completely flat. So you can use the palm of your hand if you want to, like that. Or you can use a couple of fingers, however you want to do it. So I quite like doing it with 2 hands, like that. Squish, 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 squish. Like that. And also it helps them stick to the tray this way. So now when I lift them up, they're not going to fall off. So they won't be perfect. And if you want to make them more perfect, you can squish them around again. But can you see, like that? So that's the answer to your space. So they're evenly spaced. They will get a bit bigger. Some of them might stick together, and that's fine. So if I show you that and then kind of how those ended out, nice. So that's what you want. How are we doing? Good. So I'm going to wash my hands because they're a bit greasy. Once you've finished in the end, you can wash your hands just while I wait for you. I'm going to slow down. Don't worry. I'm just going to show people because I know everybody's at different times. So I'm going to wash my hands while you carry on, and I'm going to come back, okay? Do not worry, I've been doing this for a long time. I go a bit quickly when it comes to making all of my bits, and then this way I can answer everybody's questions. So it should be in a really nice dough that you can squish with your fingers, and then you just want to squish a bit in your hands like this. Don't roll it, because if you roll it, it will just crumble. And then just put them in nice little rows on your tray, and they will get bigger. So if I show you, this is one of mine. And then this is what they look like after they've baked. This one's actually a bit thinner. I obviously squished this. Oven should be on 180 or 160. Okay? So I'll just give them a bit more of a squish. You don't want them too squished, really. And if they crack at the edges, so a bit like that, I think they're fine. But if you wanted to, you can just, once they're on the tray, just use your fingers. Yours are in the oven already, see? Got some of you super quick. Yeah, and they're only about 10 to 12 minutes in the oven. So really don't take long at all. So you can pop yours in. Absolutely, if you're good. So this is what they look like before. And here's one I made earlier. So that is what we're looking at. Good, huh? Really yummy. And when they come out, this is what you want. They'll look nice and golden. And they'll be golden. They'll be stuck to the tray, because remember we gave them a squish. And when you tap them, can you hear that? Nice hollow, a bit like our bread. And that's what you want. And they should be the same size. Now, if your oven all ovens are slightly different, front to back and top to bottom. So you'll find that some like this might be a little bit lighter than that. So you can always swivel your tray around about 5 minutes and move them around. But they smell so good. Yummy. And even for the coconut haters, I promise you're going to try them. And I want to hear what happened for those of you that put nuts in, or grated creamed coconut, or more porridge, or whatever else. You can do that. So you can give me a thumbs up when you are when you've done yours, and we'll see how many you did. So I did 21. So I think I said on the recipe about 20 biscuits as a rough idea. And I know some of you were splitting the mix and doing half with coconut and half with something else. Be nice to know what they're like with the nuts, because the nuts have got oil in them. So when you squish them together, I just thought they might be a bit easier. So you can see why they did these during the war, can't you? Because they're all kinds of easy, cheap ingredients, you know, flour, sugar, stuff like that. Temperature in the oven, Pavan, is 180 or 160 fan, okay? And they didn't have very many eggs. They didn't want to waste the eggs. And these would last a really long time. So, you know, like the golden syrup and things like that just last forever. So they're quite a sweet cookie. So I cut down on my sugar. So it'd be good to know what you did and hear what you thought, because I think they're sweet enough as they are. And I'm loving the idea of the hobnobs, that maybe what we could do is melt some chocolate. And when they come out, you could maybe dip a bit or maybe drizzle a little bit of chocolate over the top. That would be nice. You are very welcome, Millie. You doubled up. So Poppy's... Oh, that is so nice. Poppy's daddy can take them to work. That's a really good idea. I love that. Yeah, you guys can do lots of things. And next week, we are going to be doing some rainbow theme as well. So we're going to do, yours made 17. So that's a good number, about 20. So yours might be a bit bigger than mine. So about, as I say, 10 to 12 minutes. You got 24 with small hands. That's perfect. Even for me with a big mouth, that's probably a bit too much to shove in my mouth in one go. You made 15, so it's rough. They're a bit smaller than hobnobs, aren't they? So that would be okay. Ollie said the mix is yummy, all in the oven, and you're watching them. Fantastic. So that's one of the reasons I like them, so only 10 minutes. You are very welcome. So we're going to be back at the weekend on Saturday, 10 o'clock. We're going to be making pea dip and pita crisps. I'm going to post up again the ingredients and stuff you'll need, because I know not everybody got them. Poppy's already eating the crumbs. Perfect. That's a great job, Melissa, isn't it? That's what you need a dog for. Then you don't need to clean anything up. So send me your photos. Those of you that have been cooking with me a while know. Those of you that are new, post your photos into the group or onto the album. And then I will give you all some comments. I want to hear how they were and how yummy they were. Oh, you're going to give some to your relatives. That's lovely. I'm loving that you're all dropping food parcels off. That's really thoughtful and really lovely to do. And I hope that those of you that are doing something for VE Day, look up on Anzac biscuits and tell me what you find out. Hannah has done them all herself. Very proud. Quite right. So they're all nice recipes. If you can do them, perfect. Mummy and Daddy can do them. And actually, if you did all the cooking today, maybe Mummy and Daddy can do the washing up. So you are very welcome, Lou. So I'm glad they are a bit like hobnobs. That's what Kim, somebody said that earlier. I'd not thought about it that way, but they look like hobnobs because they've got all of the oats. So I think a bit of chocolate on the top would be really nice. The son ate half the mixture as well. I know, that's the sign of a good stuff. So you really shouldn't need to be doing any washing up. And I want to hear from those of you that thought you were coconut haters, whether I've convinced you to at least have them in a little biscuit, because I think that they're very nice. So anybody, so as I said, Saturday, pea dip and pita crisps. I will see you back for that. Rainbow stuff the week after, so check that out. I'm going to put a little post as well, so you can start to think, if you're doing your shopping, about what you need for the following week. Anybody that asked me about kits, so things like the silicone trays that we've used, the mats, and particularly for Saturday, and if you want to get chopping, the Amazon list has got all my knife recommendations on it, from the lettuce knife that I use with the 2-year-olds all the way up. So you can have a look at that, and any questions, obviously, just let me know. Cover them in chocolate. I'd love to see that. You've given me an idea now. So definitely when the biscuits have cooled and come out of the oven, that would be a good time to do that. Your little girl would like to make them pretty and add sprinkles. Yeah, you could do sprinkles. I think you'd might put sprinkles in the dough. The only thing with regular sprinkles, particularly the pastel ones, is the colour disappears. You don't really see it. So you might be better to maybe do like chocolate or something on the top of them and then do some sprinkles on top. Victoria enjoyed it, the kitchen. Yeah, we do need a bit of tidying up. So my top tip, if you're cooking with little chefs or any chefs, what you can do is I buy a really cheap dustpan and brush, just like an IKEA one or something like that, and I have it for my kitchen worktop. So when I've got, you can see, like I've got, I haven't made too much mess, but a little bit here, you can just kind of sweep it like that, especially when you do flour, and then you can just really easily wash it up in the sink. You got 20 and you love coconut. I'm with you, Hazel, or Hazel, your son. I'm a bit of a Bounty fan. I get to have all the Bounties that are left over in the chocolate box. So you are very welcome, Amy. So thank you for joining me. Send me some photos and let me know how you get on. And I will see you guys at 10 o'clock on Saturday for our pea dip and our pita crisps. Take care, have a wonderful afternoon, and enjoy your cookies with a cup of tea. Bye, guys.